DC Nation, what is up? We're back with another video. In this video, I'll be covering all the new DC comics that came out this past week, the week of January 18th, 2022. Now, there wasn't a lot of new DC comics that came out this week, but the ones that did come out were really quality. Like, some of them were really great. Like, I was surprised by how good some of them were. Like, I already knew, like, my pick of the week is Nightwing number 88, and I'll go into how much I love that issue in a second, but there's some other comics that came out this week that I just expected it to be alright, it's like, just solid issue, but they ended up being really good, and actually almost challenged Nightwing number 88 for the pick of the week spots. But hey, Nightwing number 88, it's my favorite comic this week, written by Tom Taylor, art by Bruno Redondo, and guys, this issue is just amazing. Basically, the story is, you got Dick Grayson, he's out in the public now, and he's trying to make Bloodhaven better, lift it up into the lights. But now there's a target on his head by Blockbuster. Blockbuster sends all these bounty hunters and these assassins to kill Grayson to get Grayson. Get Grayson is the name of the story arc. But yeah, we see Dick Grayson, he's out in the public, he's giving like a rally, talking to people, telling everyone, every citizen, his plans. Oracle, Barbara Gordon, she's watching, she's very worried. Because yeah, Dick can protect himself, but there's only so much he could do as Nightwing. Like, he could easily be sniped down by a bounty hunter. And that was gonna happen this issue. Like, we were about to have another Rick Grayson, but nope, the Titans show up. Yep, we see these bounty hunters ready to shoot Dick. Dick doesn't know what's gonna happen. And then we see Starfire and Donna Troy show up, stop the bullets, and then we see one bullet get past Starfire and Donna Troy, and it's about to hit Dick, but then the Flash comes running in, Wally West, and then we get a really cool interaction between Dick and Wally. Guys, we haven't seen Wally and Dick interact in so long. So as a fan of both of their characters, I really like this. From there, Wally takes Dick to Mr. Terrific, and Dick gets an all-new suit. It's not like super new, it's still a Nightwing costume, but the difference is, the lines, the blue lines, go all the way down to his fingers, making a more slicker look. Like guys, this look looks really slick. That's my favorite Nightwing look to date. It looks that cool. From there, Dick and Wally jump back into action. They make it back to the same spot where Dick was talking to the citizens. And from there, we see Nightwing and the Flash teaming up and taking down these different assassins. We get a really cool splash image that looks awesome. Nightwing just kicking one of the assassins and Wally uppercutting the other. Super dope. But from there, they start getting overwhelmed. But good news, the rest of the Titans show up. We see Beast Boy, Raven, Starfire, Donna Troy, Wally West, the Flash, Nightwing. They are all here and ready to fight. And we get this splash image that's just amazing. Oh, I forgot to mention Cyborg. He's there as well. Man, nowadays, I always forget that Cyborg is on the Titans because he's always with the Justice League. But I'm always going to associate him with the Titans. Like, that's where he got popular, the Teen Titans show. And I just think he belongs in that team. Like, Cyborg should stay on the Teen Titans. Like, yeah, it was cool of him being in the Justice League, but he belongs on the Teen Titans. But yeah, back to the splash image. It looks amazing. It's one of my favorite images drawn by Bruno Redondo in this entire Nightwing run so far. And the coolest thing is it's very similar to another cover of the new Teen Titans #1, which came out back in the 80s. It was the cover where you see Dick Grayson, still as Robin, shouts, Titans together, and you see Starfire, Donna Troy, Kid Flash, Beast Boy, Raven in the background, sharing the same pose that she is in this issue, and I just think that's so cool. And what's even better, it's a coincidence. Like, people actually asked Bruno Redondo if he was trying to pay homage to that cover, and he wasn't. It was a total coincidence, and that makes it better for me. Like, the fact that he drew this splash image, got these epic poses for all these Titans characters, including Nightwing, and Tom Taylor included the line, Titans together, and it kind of paid homage to that original cover from the 80s. Like, that just makes this issue a lot more special. But from there, the Titans take down all the assassins, make it back to Blockbuster. Starfire, very intimidating, she walks up to Blockbuster and tells him Dick Grayson is on Titan's watch now. So Blockbuster can't take him down. Or at least he's gonna have to worry about the Titans showing up and taking down his plans. And Blockbuster, he's a great villain, and I'm excited to see what he does in the next few issues to ensure that Dick Grayson dies. Now, the issue ends with another glimpse of Heartless, I think that's his name. This villain that Tom Taylor introduced in the Leaping Into the Light storyline, and he's back now and just continuing to kill people. He kills one of Blockbuster's assassins, and he's getting ready to go after Dick Grayson. He's gonna try to kill him as well, and try to kill Blockbuster, his new enemy. So, that's interesting, but my favorite part of this issue is obviously the Titans team up against Blockbuster. That was just epic, and as a fan of the Titans, I thought it was really awesome. So yeah, guys, if you like Nightwing, if you like amazing artwork, if you like the Titans, if you like fast-paced storytelling, then this is the issue for you. I highly recommend Nightwing number 88. Next up on our list, we got Batman The Knights number 1. A new maxi series that'll be running for 10 issues. This is issue number 1, written by Chip Zdarsky and art by Carmine. The art by Carmine is amazing this issue. Like, sometimes Carmine's artwork, if it's rushed, doesn't look that good. But this, it looks like he really took his time and really made each figure look great. Like how he does the conversations between Hugo Strange and Bruce, how he does the action sequences, how he does the conversations between Alfred and Bruce, and just the overall tone of the story and the aesthetic. It looks amazing. So yeah, arts by Carmine, top notch. As for the writing by Chip Zdarsky, amazing as well. The whole story in this maxi series is we see Bruce go through this time frame where, okay, he lost his parents, he became a teenager, but now he's going to travel around the world and learn different skills and eventually come back to Gotham and fight crime. Make his war on crime real. And that means him running into characters like Henry Ducard, Ra's al Ghul, and more of his mentors that we've learned about in his whole 8-year history in comics. Like, I really like this idea. Like, yeah, we've seen glimpses of this time frame before. Oh, Bruce going out and training to become the Batman. It's kind of like an origin to the Batman, but not the basic origin. Oh, he's in the Batcave, he sees the bats, and that's it. Like, we've seen that many times before. Too many times at this point. But this, we haven't seen this a lot. Like, there's still grounds you could cover with this idea of Bruce traveling the world and running some mentors and learning his skills that he eventually uses when being Batman. Like, I really like this idea. And Chip Zdarsky, he writes it so well. How he writes Bruce trying to go out and fight crime, Bruce trying to become a cop. Like, we get this one scene where he's on dates with this girl named Sydney, and she asks him, hey, what do you want to be? And Bruce is like, a cop. I want to fight crime. And she's like, you're serious? You sure you want to do that? And Bruce is like, yeah, that's my main goal. And I really like that idea. Like, he's not thinking about being Batman yet. He's thinking about being a cop. And that's cool. Like, the idea that we haven't seen the idea that much in comics where Bruce is thinking about that. Like, I already knew that, oh, that had to come across his mind. There's no way Bruce just immediately went to, I gotta be a vigilante. He probably thought at first to be a cop, be under the system and help Gotham. And it's cool to see that written about here. Also, what I really like is involving Hugo Strange. we see Hugo Strange involved this early in Bruce's life as Batman, and how Hugo Strange talks to Bruce, tries to hypnotize him, and push Bruce to do things with his anger. You see Bruce just go against Hugo. At the end of the issue, Hugo actually gets arrested. Like, Bruce just tricks Hugo, and I really like it. It makes Bruce's character a lot cooler and adds some layers to Bruce other than being Batman. And Hugo Strange, I like how he's written here. Like, his dialogue, his facial expressions, how he acts, and how he tries to manipulate Bruce. It's very interesting. And my favorite part about this issue, the Alfred and Bruce relationship. That's one of the best things in all the Batman lore. And just seeing Alfred try to help Bruce, and then Alfred realized he's a failure. He couldn't get Bruce in the right path. He's turned Bruce into just a rich brat. And Alfred is trying to fix Bruce, trying to push him away from just being out in the streets. Maybe help Gotham in a way that he can with his money. And yeah, I really like that. Like, the Bruce and Alfred relationship is explored in an awesome way here. So yeah, guys, Batman the Knights, #1. I wasn't super excited for it. Like, the idea was interesting, but it just felt like, oh, maybe it'll just be another origin to Batman. But after reading it, it really surprised me. Chip Zdarsky knocked it out of the park, and I highly recommend you pick up this issue. Next up on our list, we got Detective Comics #1049, Shadows the Bats, Part 3. Now, I'm gonna simply say, this issue kinda boring. Like, the art's by Ivan Rice, amazing as always. He draws figures and conversations really well, and the dialogue in this issue isn't that bad. Like, Batwoman has an interesting role, trying to be a doctor in Arkham Tower, investigate, her running into Chase Meriden and talking. I really like that interaction, but the rest of the issue, I didn't really care for. We just see these different inmates, we get some flashbacks of Batwoman and Batman running into this one villain named Siphon, who I didn't care about. And yeah, by the end of the issue, all we really get is, okay, there's something up with Arkham Tower, like, Dr. Ware, he's doing something suspicious, we don't know what it is yet, and then we got Huntress in Arkham Tower. She was supposed to be undercover, but now her mind may be manipulated, like, she may be under the influence of Dr. Ware, or something interesting. Like, we don't know, it's not really revealed, it's kind of vague. And maybe we'll see more of that in the next issue, and I'll get more invested. But this issue as a whole, it's a lot of dialogue, a lot of interactions, and some of that is good, but some of that I just felt like it was unnecessary, or it didn't add to the plots, especially at the end of the issue, like the conversation between Nightwing and Batwoman. I didn't really care for. It felt very unnecessary, and yeah, this issue, like, I really hope this Shadows of the Bat event gets better next issue, in issue 1050. I'm actually really excited for that issue, because besides being an extra-sized issue, we'll also get a backup story by Mark Waid about World's Finest Batman Superman. That's what I'm really excited for, other than, like, Shadows of the Bat. Like, Shadows of the Bat, it just hasn't got me invested yet. I'm waiting. Like, I'm gonna keep reading, but right now, Mariko Tamaki has to convince me that this story should be told. So yeah, guys, Detective Comics 1049, I don't recommend it. Next up on our list, we got Catwoman, #39, written by T. Howard, art by Nico Leon, and the artwork, I really like in this issue. It fits Catwoman, it's very dynamic, a lot of silhouettes, very interesting artwork that I liked. As for the writing by T. Howard, it's just a new story. We get a lot of setup of some new players, new characters, actually a lot of new characters. It's kind of too fast. Like, it feels like T. Howard is trying to set up a lot in this issue, but we don't get enough time, enough interactions, and any action at all. Like, there's some action toward the end, but not enough to get me, like, hooked on this new creative team. And by the end, we got this new status quo of Catwoman, Selina Kyle, looking to gain power in the underworld of Gotham City. Now that has potential. It could lead in a very interesting direction, but right now, this first issue, I'm not convinced. I'm not invested yet, but I'm still gonna give the next few issues a try. I'm gonna keep reading, because sometimes runs start out like this, where it's just okay, because there's a lot of setup, but maybe all the setup is worth it. Maybe T. Howard has some really cool payoff, some cool twists coming that'll get me more excited. But yeah, that's my thoughts on this issue. Do I recommend it? If you're a Catwoman fan, yeah, I'll recommend it for now. I'm gonna give Cindy Howard the benefit of the doubts. Next up on our list, we got Aquaman The Becoming, number 5. This is the penultimate issue of this mini-series, and this issue sets up the finale very well. We see Jackson Hyde team up with his sister, them have a lot of interactions, a lot of opposing views, and I really like this, like, just this brother and sister relationship. It's different and interesting. And then by the end, the sister, she realizes she's wrong, and now she thinks everything's lost. Like, Zebel is about to attack and do assassination attempt on Mara. Mara's in trouble, and everything seems lost. But then, Jackson Hyde steps up, and he says, Aquaman can save them. He gets his trident ready, he walks out, and that's how the issue ends. It's a very cool moment. Like, I actually got hyped. Up to that point, we got some good, like, build-up and some good, like, background and what's going on, but that final image of Jackson Hyde walking away and everyone behind him thinking that, oh, all is lost, like, we can't do this, especially his sister, but he just replies, nah, maybe you can't do it, but Aquaman can. I can be Aquaman. I can save Mara. And it says at the bottom, next, Aquaman becomes. So next issue, he'll officially be Aquaman, he'll take up that role, and he'll try to save Mara. I really like this. Like, this development of Jackson Hyde's character is super interesting, and it just makes me like his character a lot more. So yeah, if you're a fan of Jackson Hyde and Aquaman in general, then I highly recommend you check out this issue. Moving on to the last new DC comic that came out this week, we got Blue and Gold, number 5. In this issue, Booster Gold and Blue Beetle, they fight off against that warrior princess once again, and then they get transported to her home world at the end, and the issue ends when now Booster and Blue Beetle, they're gonna have to fight to the death. They have a death sentence. And I really like this, like all the build up in this issue, the action sequences, the humor, like Booster Gold and Blue Beetle's team up, and just their dynamic is amazing. It's written very well here, but what I also like is the added addition of Rip Hunter, the Time Master. I've always liked Rip Hunter's character, especially on Legends of Tomorrow, that TV show on the CW, but here, we see him show up and tell the warrior princess that Booster Gold and Blue Beetle are very important. So, Rip Hunter, he has a very interesting role here, and I'm excited to see him involved more as the series continues. So yeah, this issue, guys, if you like great artwork, a very fun story, very dynamic story about Booster Gold and Blue Beetle, then yeah, if you've been reading the series so far, I highly recommend you check out this issue. Now, that's all the new DC Comics that came out this past week, but we're not closing out this video yet. It's time for a back haul pull. And this week, we got Booster Gold, Future Lost, written by Dan Jurgens. Guys, this is a really cool story. Like, I'm just gonna read you the synopsis. In America, you can be anything, do anything, and take your own future by the reins. It was in this spirit that Booster Gold became a self-branded superhero of today, from the future, while his occasional colleagues, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, are in the business of saving lives for the sake of good, triumphing over evil. Booster is a more modern, business-oriented superhero. He's in for 3 reasons: money, fame, and adventure. But Booster gets more than he signed up for when the time-traveling superhero gets stranded in Gotham 2046. A bounty is quickly placed upon Booster's head for supposed crimes against society, and the hunt is on. The question is, will Booster manage to escape his death sentence, or will he be terminated, leaving his future lost forever? Guys, if that synopsis does not get you hyped, I don't know what will. And what's even more better about this story is you see Booster Gold interact with Superman, Batman, of course, is in Gotham. Also, Martian Manhunter. There's like one issue in the story where it's just him and Martian Manhunter teaming up, and it's awesome. We see Hawk and Dove. So many DC superheroes in this story, but the main focus is on Booster Gold and him trying to survive when this bounty is placed on his head. It's a very fast-paced story, really great artwork, and amazing writing by Dan Jurgens. This is actually my favorite stories written by Dan Jurgens. Like, it fits his writing, it's Booster Gold, it's crazy, fun adventure, a lot of action, and yeah guys, if you're a fan of Booster Gold and you just want a fun trip through the DC universe, then I highly recommend Booster Gold Future Lost. But yeah guys, you tell me your thoughts on all the new DC comics that came out this past week. What was your pick of the week? And yeah, if you liked the video, give a big thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on my next DC Comics video. And yeah, thanks for watching, and peace out.